Chris Johnson here. Hope you're having a great start to your Thursday. Some changes showing up with the forecast as the remnants of Francine move into the area, bringing rounds of some tropical rains, even some storms, and possibly a conditional severe threat as we work through Friday late afternoon, early evening. We're going to talk about rain timing, rain amounts, and the possibility for a few rotating storms that could show up near or in the area, so a lot to track out as far as this system and setup is concerned. As far as the latest satellite imagery, you can see those clouds increasing, started to do so yesterday evening, especially last night. Now mid and high level clouds will continue to stream northward as mainly cloudy skies went out as we work through this afternoon. Now, temperature-wise, a little warmer out there to kick off this morning, especially when you compare it to where we have been. 60 here in Warren County, and really we're seeing temperatures ranging from those 50s over in Butler County to 61 for folks there getting into Barron County, and then south and east, one of the warmer spots right now across the Wobbles region, Allen County, checking in at 65 degrees. So a milder start to the morning, still pleasant out there. But as you head out the door, plenty of cloud cover is expected to greet you as you work through this morning, and it looks like the clouds will be sticking around. You can see just that with our Beech Tree New Sky Cam. This is facing west from Morgantown. It's calm out there for now, but we're going to see winds start to pick up as we work into this afternoon. Some gusty winds will take over late afternoon through this evening, in addition to some rain that moves into the area, some storms as well. As far as radar is concerned, as we scan those skies across the Wobbles region, not a whole lot going on yet. But again, remnants move in later this afternoon, and rain chances, scattered downpours, and some storms will start to move in from the south, pushing towards the north and northwest as this low-pressure system and the remnants of Francine start to wrap up within itself, and that's going to spin some of those rain chances and storms right here into south-central Kentucky. As far as the late week outlook is concerned, again, a little cooler because of the cloud cover out there. Tonight, we'll see rain showers ramping up, a few storms looking like a good possibility, and then Friday brings the chance for additional showers and storms on a scattered basis. Heavy rainfall at times will be likely. And we have to keep an eye on the setup later afternoon, getting into our Friday evening. If we can manage some storm fuel, a little bit of instability, that could change the game as far as some possible strong storms. And with a setup like this, you get a lot of rotation in the atmosphere. And it doesn't take much for storms to start rotating with a remnant tropical system like this. So that's something that's grabbing my eye, and we're going to have to keep a close eye on as we work through your Friday evening. As far as the big setup is concerned, here you go. High pressure now pushing off into the New England region, and we had Francine make landfall as a Category 2 hurricane, 100 miles per hour, yesterday afternoon, evening, and now it's going to start to make its jog towards the north. And as it does so, it's going to weaken into a depression and then eventually a post-tropical cyclone. But it's going to meander once it gets closer to our region, western Tennessee, getting closer to the Missouri Boot Hill as it works northward across the mid-Mississippi Valley region. As it does so, it's going to bring the chance for some storms. Now, we have to be on guard for rounds of storms, training of downpours and storms that could lead to some localized flash flooding issues. That's going to be on the table, in addition to the threat for some stronger storms that will show up as well, especially as we work through your Friday evening. So activity starts to ramp up later this afternoon, this evening, and then rounds of tropical downpours, storms, some strong storms will continue, especially through Friday afternoon and evening, with more rain chances as we work into this weekend as well. As far as the severe potential is concerned, overall, our severe threat today, very low. The setup, or where the best parameters could show up for some stronger storms, will be for our Friday. So the latest SPC severe outlook has a low-end threat showing up across portions of Middle Tennessee. Looking over some of the data this morning and some new stuff that's rolling in, I would not be surprised if we did have an extension with this low-end risk. So the darker green, that's a level 1 out of 5, a marginal risk, Would not be surprised if we see this extended into portions of South Central and West Kentucky. This could include areas like Bowling Green, Morgantown. These are some areas we're going to watch closely with some updates as we work through this afternoon and evening. Again, would not be surprised if we had an extension on that marginal risk, because I do believe some rotating storms will be on the table for portions of the area later tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. A lot hinges on just how much instability we'll have to work with. And that seems to be the big factor with this setup. And if we can manage a little bit of energy, well, believe that rotating storm threat starts to increase just a bit across our area. As far as Francine is concerned right now, continues to work inland and still packing some gusty winds, upwards to 60 miles per hour times, wind speed sustained at 45, especially within the red area there. And then you look at some of the winds outside of that, still packing some gusty winds, but the rainfall in this system now starts to make its move towards the north. And this is the latest track from the National Hurricane Center. Continues northward and works as a tropical depression, and then continues to weaken by the time it hits far western Tennessee. But still, post-tropical storm, still going to be bringing breezy winds, some gusty winds at times, along with rainfall and a surge of tropical moisture that eventually noses in right across the Wobbles region and points westward. That's going to supply the threat for some really heavy rainfall, and that's when we get into that potential flooding threat, localized flooding issues that could show up. Yes, I know that we have the ongoing drought issues where abnormally dry to moderately dry conditions across the area. However, if you can get some training with these storms, there could be a narrow area setting up where we could be talking several inches of rainfall. Where exactly that sets up, tough to pinpoint, but we're getting an overall idea that that could be a spot across South Central or into Western Kentucky. So again, do believe some flooding issues also on the table. As far as timing this out, here's some of the latest high-res data rolling in, and we're going to put this into motion for you. So not only will we'll see rain chances ramp up later this afternoon, this evening. Winds will start to pick up as well. And then here comes the chance for some rainfall, including a few storms that will be ongoing as well. So this is getting into this afternoon. 5 o'clock, late afternoon, we start to see some of the rain from Francine moving from south to north and northwest into the area. So getting into this evening, here we go. We're tracking out some rain chances. And as the lower part of the atmosphere starts to saturate, we've had some really dry air to battle and overcome, but don't believe that's going to be a problem as we climb deeper into this evening. The column saturates as plenty of tropical moisture surges in. And here you go. We're talking some heavy rain, some storms, a possibility working into tonight. This is 11 o'clock tonight. And overnight, still holding on to some scattered downpours, likely catching a break late tonight into Friday morning. Some isolated to scattered activity lingers, but then this is where we get into the potential for some stronger storms. And notice a lot of the activity on this model run fairly absent. Okay, so that's something grabs my attention. If we're on the drier side, we can mix in perhaps a little bit of sun in there, in addition to dew points surging into the 60s, possibly low 70s, should create enough buoyancy for some storms to develop and start to take off. And we get into Friday afternoon, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Look what happens. We're starting to see that axis of some heavier rainfall showing up, in addition to the potential for some stronger storms across South Central and West Kentucky. And yes, there's going to be a lot of spin in the atmosphere. If we can manage a little bit of storm fuel, I believe it's game on for a few rotating storms that could impact the area. So something we have to be on guard for, working through Friday afternoon into Friday evening. And then as we get deeper into Friday night, it looks like a lot of the activity starts to shift more towards the north and west of us, but there will be a window there for some heavy rainfall, some storms, potentially some stronger storms, and we cannot rule out a rotating storm or two. So again, we need to stay on guard and alert with our local weather as we work through Friday afternoon and evening. So here's the latest rainfall forecast. Overall, not a ton of changes or adjustments as far as potential thinking is concerned. Most of us across the Wobbles region in the run for 1 to 3 inches of rainfall. There could be some areas that pick up some isolated higher amounts that go 4 inches plus. That's possible because if you get hit with a stronger storm and you have some storms moving over the same area, training, with tropical moisture surging in from the south and east, column is going to be well saturated and rainfall will be very heavy. So we'll call it tropical rains, and that could lead to some heavy rainfall totals in addition to some localized flooding issues. So again, most of the Wobbles region and running for 1 to 3 inches of rainfall with isolated higher amounts possible. So this is great news. We're dry. We need the rainfall, but we could have to get through some stronger storms before it's all said and done. Nonetheless, good to see rain showing up. This will be very beneficial. We need this rain in a bad way. So good news in terms of picking up some rain over the next few days. All right, here's a look at that 5-day forecast brought to you by Ohio Valley Insurance. Temperatures taking a hit. Low 80s today, mostly cloudy skies. Late afternoon this evening, we're tracking out showers and some storms becoming likely with some activity lingering overnight. But as you saw, most of us on the quiet side late tonight into Friday morning. And then as we start to potentially heat things up and we can work in a little storm fuel, well, scattered showers and storms looking likely as we head through Friday afternoon and evening. And again, some of those storms have the potential to be on the stronger side. Temperatures taking a bigger hit as we work through the weekend. 70s to some low 80s expected. That's about it. But with passing cloud cover, ongoing shower and storm chances, that's going to help keep temperatures in check. And it looks like this energy just hangs out across the region. Because of that, we're going to hold on to a lingering shower storm chance as we work through the weekend, getting into early next week. And then potentially we start to trend drier into next midweek. So we'll see what happens there. But again, another system showing up later next week that could introduce more rain and storm chances back to the forecast. All right, that'll do it for this morning's update brought to you by On Target. Thanks for stopping by, checking out the latest forecast. We'll be keeping a close eye on things. We're going to have updates on social media, tracking out the latest with the remnants of Francine, and keeping an eye on that storm threat. Potentially some strong storms that show up a little later tomorrow afternoon and as we work into your Friday evening. All right, folks, make it a great day. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning with a fresh update on the forecast.